Majority of our transaction in a business happens through banking, and it can be quite a hassle to enter them in your accounting solution manually and matching them and reconciling them. The banking module in Zoho Books helps you optimize and automate your business's financial process. Our intuitive features in banking helps you to sync your bank feeds with Zoho Books, thereby increasing the ease of tracking the money coming in and going out of your business. That's not all. You can also fetch or import live bank feeds and match them instantly with your transactions in Zoho Books. Once you match or categorize your bank feeds, you can easily reconcile them with your transactions. Let us see how the banking module works in a glimpse. So before we get started, this is our agenda for the day. First, we see the overview of bank statements in Zoho Books, how you can add your bank statements in Zoho Books. Then we check how bank feeds function in Zoho Books. What if you want to import your Zoho bank statement manually in Zoho Books? Then we talk about adding manual transactions in the banking module. Next, we see how you can match transactions and how you can categorize them as well. How creating transaction rules helps you to do bulk transactions. Finally, we talk about reconciling your books of accounts. Then a short demo on the banking module. Finally, a Q&A with our product expert. Now we get started with our session on Banking 101. So first, let's talk about how you can get your bank statement in Zoho Books so that you can reconcile your accounts. So all your banking feeds and everything, connecting your bank accounts, this is what we're going to talk about. So there are three ways through which you can connect your bank accounts in Zoho Books. First of which is to directly connect it through this page in the banking module. You can connect to more than hundreds of banks from the list to your Zoho Books account. These are just few banks that are represented over here. You can search for the banks over here and you can connect to them. You will of course need credentials of your bank account to log in and connect your bank account to Zoho Books. By doing this, all your business banking transactions will be imported into the banking module of Zoho Books. Now, what do you do if your bank account is not part of this list? You can add your bank account manually. So if your bank account is not part of the list, you can add your bank account manually as well. Once they are added, you can import your bank transaction feeds manually into Zoho Books, referring to a sample import file, which we will see in the demo at the end. Some businesses do their entire transactions via credit cards. You can connect your credit card by entering your card details. Once they are added, you can import your bank transaction feeds manually into Zoho Books. Now that you have added your bank account or credit card, you need to have a constant flow of transaction that falls into Zoho Books. This happens only if the bank feeds are active from the bank account that you have added into the Zoho Books. As you can see, this NatWest account is active and this HSBC savings account is inactive. So bank feeds will not be fetched for this particular account, but for this account, bank feeds will be automatically fetched. The bank feeds are fetched every 24 hours into your account automatically for the banks that don't require multi-factor authentication, which is the MFA. Some banks adopt multi-factor authentication for security purposes. If your bank adopts multi-factor authentication, you will have to refresh the feeds manually. Moving on, now what if you want, due to various factors, you might want to import your bank statements manually. Zoho Books provides you with that option as well. There are two ways through which you can import bank statements into Zoho Books. One is manually uploading the bank statement into Zoho Books. You can do this by downloading the sample file that you see over here and enter your transactions similarly into the sample file and upload this file into Zoho Books. And all your banking transactions would appear in Zoho Books' banking module. We'll see a demo on how to do this at the end of the session. Next is The second method of manually uploading your bank accounts into Zoho Books would be to auto forward your bank statements to an email ID that has been pre-assigned to you. Once you receive your monthly or weekly or quarterly bank statements in your email, you can forward it to this email ID that you see over here, and all your banking transactions will appear in Zoho Books for you to reconcile. Each account has its own different forwarding ID. So to check your forwarding ID, just go to your banking module and try to import a statement using this method, and you can find this for auto forward ID as well. Next, certain transactions might have happened offline, but might not have been recorded in your accounting solutions. Basically, you bank transaction would have occurred, or you would have made a cash transaction, but you would have not created a transaction inside your accounting solution. You can manually add these transactions in Zoho Books. These could be both money in or money out transactions. This will be considered as manually added transaction when you create a manual transactions in the banking module. Let's say you create an expense transaction. A transaction is created in the respective module. So in the expense module, in the under purchases, you will automatically have a transaction there. Meaning when a money out transaction is added, an expense transaction is created in Zoho Books under purchases. Next, we see if you have a bank account that has been connected and you are automatically getting these feeds as part of your bank account. So what do you do then? How do you do your banking transaction reconciliation and everything? So if it's connected to your Zoho Books accounts and your bank feeds are active, you will want to match all your transactions that has happened in your Zoho Books accounts with your banking transactions. You can do this by going to the uncategorized transaction section over here in Zoho Books. Select the transaction that's not matched or categorized, basically any of these things, and this will open up the best possible matches over here. And for this particular transaction, you can select one or multiple transaction and select the best possible match. Once matched, the transaction will move to the matched filter with status as matched. Certain transactions again might be part of your banking statement, but you might have missed out to create corresponding transactions in Zoho Books. Zoho Books lets you do this by creating transactions right out of your bank statement with the help of categorizing transactions manually. You can select the transaction over here and then select to categorize it manually and create an expense or income depending on what kind of an account this goes to, and select the account where you want this to be reflected, and transaction would be created automatically within Zoho Books. So this helps you out by doing multiple transactions at the same time. This is what we're going to see next. So now there are a lot of businesses that do many bulk transactions that are similar in nature. Zoho Books helps you create transaction rules that will help you categorize any transaction that fit the rules that you have created. Assume there is a monthly recurring transaction that is happening and is part of your bank account, a bank transaction, I mean, and you want to create these transactions in books. You can create rules that fit these transactions, and then Zoho Books automatically recognizes these transactions for you and lists them under recognized filter. Finally, after it's recognized, you will just have to bulk select and categorize them. This is the easiest way to bulk categorize transactions from the banking module. In Zoho Books, you can also reconcile an account to ensure that transactions in your bank account match with the transactions you have created in Zoho Books. You can also choose the period for which you would like to reconcile an account. This period can be set for a particular reporting period or at the end of every month. So basically, you would have done some transactions. You would have gotten paid. You could have paid somebody, your vendors, and you would have created certain transactions inside Zoho Books. Once you match them, you realize that everything has been matched, and every single transaction that has taken place in your business is accounted for using this method. So this is very important. You need to reconcile it as and when you see fit. You can also generate reports to check the reconciliation status of your bank accounts from the report section of Zoho Books. So this is what you see. You see the opening balance, you see the closing balance, all the transactions that is matched, value of transactions that is not yet matched, everything right from this particular reports that you can generate anytime from the report section. Next, we are moving on to the demo part of the video. Now, let's get started with the demo. So in this demo, we are first going to show you how you can import a bank statement into Zoho Books, and then how you can match transactions and categorize transactions. Finally, we show you how to reconcile your bank accounts. Before we get started with this bank statement, importing of a bank statement, if you have connected your bank account with Zoho Books, all your transactions are automatically, all your banking transactions are automatically taken into Zoho Books using the bank feeds. So you need not import a bank statement manually. Since I do not have a business account, I'm just going to show you how you can import a bank statement manually into Zoho Books. So I'm just taking up this bank account, for example. So assume if you have connected your bank account with Zoho Books, your banking transactions are part of this module. All your transactions would come and fall over here, as you can see over here. If you do not have that, you will have to import your bank statement manually. I'm going to show you a demo for that right now. So just click on this import statement, download the sample file that you want to. I've already downloaded a sample file, so I'm not going to download it again. And you can choose the file to be imported. So before I show you how to which one to be chosen and imported into Zoho Books, I'm going to show you how the sample file looks like. So this is how the sample file looks like. I'm just going to import in 3 transactions. So these are the dates, these are the deposits that you see, and this will be automatically imported into Zoho Books. How you're going to do that is what we are going to see now. So choose this file. I'm going to choose it from the desktop. Okay, yeah, everything looks good. Just click next. Now you do make sure the file headers are similar to what you have given up over there in the Excel sheet. So this is I think rest of the things look good. You can save these transactions for future import as well. So if you're going to have the similar format, file format, this is what you can do. Just click on next. And you can see there are no errors. These are ready to be imported. And if I just click import, all these transactions are part of my Zoho Books account right now. Next step, now you have imported your bank account statement into Zoho Books manually. Now next step would be to match these transactions. So we are going to see how we can do that. Let's just click on this particular transaction, and Zoho Books automatically shows you the best match for this. So this is the best possible match which we have gotten as a customer payment. This is what we have deposited. This is what the customer has deposited in an account as well. So this is, you can just click on match. If there are other possible transactions that you can match with these as well. So this is the perfect match for this particular transaction. So you can just match them, and it gets automatically matched, and it's moved into the all transaction part of Zoho Books, and with the status as matched. You can do this for other transactions as well. So you can do this for this particular transaction as well. So you can see possible match. You can just click match. What about this one? When we click this, there are no possible matches for this particular transaction. So this means this transaction has happened in your bank account, but it's not part of your transactions inside Zoho Books, which means you have not created a transaction for this inside Zoho Books, but this particular transaction has occurred inside in your bank account. This could happen due to various multiple reasons in any different business. To solve this problem, we have something called as categorize manually. So this is a deposit that we have gotten, and we can just put it in any category. You can just click it as customer advance. You can select the customer. We can see it over here, who the payee is based on that. If there are any bank charges or anything like that, and you can just click save. So this transaction is automatically created as an invoice payment inside Zoho Books without you having to create another invoice inside Zoho Books. So this is the benefit of categorizing a transaction inside Zoho Books. So here we have seen how you can import your bank statements inside Zoho Books. how you can match them, and if you do not have any other, if you do not have any matches, you can categorize them if they are part of your business transaction. You can find that out using the payee name and the deposit name as well. So you can see this part. Again, I'm going to show you another demo of this. So this is the transaction that has happened on 17th of August. This is a check deposit. This is the payee. You get this deposit as such. The invoice is created already in Zoho Books. So you can just match this. Once you match this, this becomes part of your transaction. So this is categorized or matched. So all these things are automatically done. Now, what if there is another scenario where you have where there has been a offline transaction, but it's not part of your bank statements? You can create those transactions over here as well. Like I can create a customer advance transaction using this add transaction module in the bank account. So you can just, like, there's this one transaction that has happened, but you do not have any bank records, or you do not have any recollection of creating them inside Zoho Books. You can just go to this add transaction module. You can create any category one that you want to. It can be a money out, money in. We have discussed this in the presentation. I'm just showing you a demo of this. So you can just click on customer advance. You can select the customer. I'm going to select here. Okay, I got receive $1,000. Date is this. Reference offline transaction, and I can just click save. Once I click save, this transaction is created, and this becomes a manually added transaction, and you can see, as you can see over here. So all these things status are completely visible to you anytime that you can take, anytime you want to take a look at this. So this has been how you can import a transaction or a statement, how you can match them, and how you can categorize them, and how you can add transactions manually inside Zoho Books. The next part is how you can reconcile your bank account. So to reconcile your bank transactions with your transactions in your accounting system is a big process, but if you have already categorized your transactions, you have matched your transactions, you have manually added any transaction that you want to, I think reconciliation becomes very easy. So now let's see how you can reconcile your statements. So to reconcile, just basically first go to the bank account that you want to reconcile with, then go to the settings icon over here and click on reconcile account. This will ask you to do three things: set a date range to reconcile, add transactions to match, undo or delete any reconciliation statements. So now when you click reconcile now, you have to enter the closing balance that is part of your bank account. By my estimate, of all the transactions that we have done and all the amount that we have received from the customers in this particular Zoho Books organization, it has to be around 34,200. And then you click the start reconciliation process. Once you click this, you can see all the transactions that have happened in this particular account. You can see the opening balance and the closing balance as well, and the cleared amount, and the difference becomes 0. So once you have you can see all the transactions that we have easily matched recently, and when the amount is added up, the amount that you've received in your particular bank account, you add up, you get this particular amount, and this would be the amount in your bank statement as well. And the difference that you see is over here is 0. So the step-by-step process of this is something like once you click on the initiate reconciliation button, you enter the start date and the end date for the period that you would like to reconcile your accounts for. You have to then enter your closing balance. Then you click on the start reconciliation part. You can select the transactions that you want to reconcile. So this is an offline transaction, so I'm not reconciling this over here, but rest of the transaction I've selected. It's auto selected for me. You can also adjust the amount if you want to. You can adjust the closing balance over here from the transaction window. Only the matched and categorized transactions will be part of this statement. So in the previous steps, you saw how we matched all the transactions, categorized it, and manually added the transactions as well. So to reconcile your accounts, you just need to make sure that your closing balance and the cleared amount are the same, and the difference is 0. Now, once uh, once you enter the amount, you can just click on reconcile, and all your accounts would be reconciled. So reconciliation for this particular Grindlays bank has been done for the month of August up until today's date. Now I think we are done with the banking demo part as well. All these things have been, you can see the reconciliation uh, notification over here as well. So everything is clearly visible. So if you have any questions, folks, please do ask us in the questions tab. And if you want to reach out to us and have more questions on the banking module and would like to have in-depth questions on it, you can email us at support-wave@zohobooks.com, and our team will reach out to you. So thank you so much for being a gracious audience. Please ask us all your questions in the questions tab, and we have our product expert who will answer all your questions live. So thank you so much, folks.